It is a special event that brought together Mater Hospital Cardiac Program trustees, stakeholders, benefactors and beneficiaries to officially flag off the Mater Heart Run campaign 2022.
The Mater Heart Run 2022 has been officially launched.
Today I'm excited because we have launched the Mater Heart Run 2022. And for us, this is a great win because in the 2020 and 2021, we did not have the Mater Heart Run. And what it means is that if we don't have the Mater Heart Run, we do not have a platform where we invite well-wishers, our partners and our supporters to come together to raise funds, which is put into the Mater Heart Fund.
We are grateful for the continued partnership and support that you have accorded us and ensuring that the needy children with cardiac diseases get new lease of life.
The Heart Run, a Mater Hospital trademark that has been running for the past 25 years, is an annual campaign that raises funds to support needy children with cardiac defects and are otherwise unable to fund the costly medical procedures.
That is what Mater Heart Run is about. It's about touching the lives of children who have no way of ever coming back and saying thank you to us because of what we have done. But for us who have the ability to touch their lives, it gives us that one chance to do that.
Remember, cardiac surgery is very expensive because of the expensive consumables that are used, the specialized doctors that need to take care of the patients and even perform the procedures, even taking care of them in ICU.
Program trustees took the opportunity to outline this year's target and budgets ahead of the actual campaign in June 2022 as they called for support from people of goodwill.
This year, our target is 200 children from both open heart surgery and cardiac catheterization. These procedures will be achieved through your generous support. Already we have about 250 children on the waiting list, and this list continues to grow every day.
We can give our children a new lease of life by repairing the broken hearts. Broken in as those that have holes in their hearts, those that have valves that are damaged and need replacement, those that have vessels that are constricted and they are not taking blood where it's supposed to be taken.
The cardiac program targets children from economically disadvantaged families in line with the values of Sisters of Mercy, which seek to uplift the dignity of the underprivileged in society in the most compassionate way.
The interventions are focused on those who are not able to have financial capacity to deal with their ailments, and that cause of the charism of the Sisters of Mercy, that's a focus.
The campaign has so far benefited over 4,000 cardiac surgery and catheterization beneficiaries through generous donations from local and international donors, coupled with a team of dedicated medical specialists.
A time came when all our resources were depleted, yet we still had a number of cases. It is a leadership that believed that there will be a better tomorrow, and we have not turned a single critical case back.
Andres alikuwa ameturn, the tongue ilikuwa imeturn into purple, makucha zina grow zikiingia ndani. He was pale, angetembea from here to there, ana squat, anainama hawezi fanya anything. He started fainting. Andres alikuwa anaweza akalikuwa now the next hour amefaint. Tulianza kutembea na oxygen, but venye tulifika Mater Andres alikuwa ameturn, the tongue ilikuwa imeturn into purple, makucha zina grow zikiingia ndani. He was pale, angetembea from here to there, ana squat, anainama hawezi fanya anything. He started fainting. Andres alikuwa anaweza like 1 hour, the next hour amefaint. Tulianza kutembea na oxygen, but venye tulifika Mata, for real tulikuwa tume lose hope. Friends walituacha, but Mata ilitupokea, ikatukumbatia, wakatusaidia na surgery. Sahi Andres anaendelea vizuri.
My name is Andres Matano. I am 7 years old. Once I had a heart surgery and I had a problem. And my parents took me to Mata Hospital. They treated me well and I'm doing well. Thank you.
22-year-old Milka Atieno, one of the Mata Heart Run beneficiaries, had been on and off hospital, grappling with incessant health symptoms. Little did she know that she had multiple cardiac perforations.
I had several holes. Wakaniambia nitahave kwanza clinic. Ile ilifika 2019 March, nika lose hope. Nikasema no clinics anymore. So vile nili lose hope, kapata Mata, wakanishikilia. Relatives walienda silent. My mom na my dad, my siblings ndio walini support.
Many other children who had lost hope of living due to heart diseases have found recourse in the Mata Heart Run program.
My name is Misericordiae and I'm 11 years old. I'm going grade 6 and I thank Mata Hospital for making me feel better. And now I am a grown girl and I thank Mata Hospital so much. I thank you to Mata Hospital. I'm ready for 2 and I thank God for everything.
Hii foundation yao imetuhelp sana. Back then sikuwa najua kuna kwanga na foundation kama hii inaweza saidia weak heart, hopeless heart. Ningependa kufanya what my friends were doing, what my classmates were doing, but ilikuwa challenging. Ilini affect sana kwa sababu when people are moving to another class, me I'm still in the hospital. Most of the times nilikuwa na pass out, more faints, more weakness. But vile nilikuwa treated, nikahave kuendelea na studies zangu.
These are beneficiaries as way back as 2018, 2019 and 2021. These are children who were not able to go to school regularly. They were not able to play with their colleagues, but because of the program, now some of them have gone back to school and they are able to relate well.
Kurudisha shukrani kwa vile Mata walisimama na sisi wakati tulikuwa tumekosa njia kabisa, na wakati tulienda walitusaidia kabisa. Mungu awabariki sana.
The Mata Heart Run campaign is on in full swing, and what stands out the most is the need to improve cardiac disease treatment and management, not just in children but also in adults.
We still hope that we should be able with time and with continuous practice, and we'll be doing most of the cases, that we will be able to come down and do most of the cases. And I'm trusting that cardiac center, Mata, will be the first one to get it, to probe it.
Over the years, the program has opened its doors to other clients through self-sponsorship and insurance covers, and among these, the NHIF, which have played a very key role.
The day will also be marked in 11 different counties across the country.
If you're in Nairobi, the run will be Nairobi. If you're in Nyeri, there will be a run. If you're in Nakuru, there will be a run. If you're in Mombasa, there will be a run. If you're in Kericho, there will be a run. If you're in Bomet, there will be a run. If you're in Kisumu, there will be a run, and there will be a run in Kakamega and Eldoret. Kindly come and let us all support these children.
I'm aware of the post-COVID-19 economic challenges, but I hope your big hearts will go beyond these challenges to touch the little hearts of our children who are going to be our future leaders.
For individuals, you get onto the Matter website. We have the Matter Heart Run paybill number, it's there. As a corporate, you can also talk to us. And when the t-shirts come out, buy t-shirts. Even if you're not able to give money, you can buy t-shirts for your groups at your place of work, do it as a CSR, and join us for the run.
One, you touch a child's heart. You touch the society. That's the core. That's where we began.
Touch a child's heart.
It is an annual iconic cardiac program popularly known as the Matter Heart Run, which had stalled for the past 2 years owing to the adverse effects posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. And as all well-wishers, stakeholders and sponsors gather here today to launch this program, the Matter Heart Run 2022, there is a call to every person who is able to step up and touch a child's heart in a special way as we await for the actual Matter Heart Run on the 11th of June. Asasha Elizabeth, Capuchin TV at the KICC, Nairobi. Catherine Macaulay Nursing School is a leading institution in Kenya offering competitive training in nursing education, innovation, research and professionalism.
We are a nursing school that was started way back in 1972, chartered as a midwifery school. The school is run by a highly qualified faculty. All the departments, for example, you look at midwifery, it's headed by someone with a PhD in midwifery. Critical care is headed by a highly specialized person with a master's in critical care. Nephrology, the same. Our clinical instructors for these programs are also specialized in their various fields.
The school is licensed and accredited by the Nursing Council of Kenya to offer holistic training in various nursing programs.
We have general nursing, that is the Kenya registered nurse. We have higher diplomas in Kenya registered midwifery, Kenya registered critical care nurses, Kenya registered nephrology nurse, and also we have theatre nursing, which is called Kenya registered perioperative nursing. We do admit our students from all over the country, especially for the basic diploma, that is the Kenya registered nurse program. And for higher diplomas, we admit, again, we have a Pan-African presence. We have students from Congo, from Rwanda, from Uganda, and from other countries. But basically, most of our students are Kenyan, those ones who have graduated from our Kenyan institutions.
Enjoy your learning in a friendly environment with adequate training facilities, including a fully fledged skills laboratory, library, lecture halls and accommodation amenities.
We have good facilities for our training. We have a very well equipped skills laboratory. This is for all the programs, both the basic diploma, the Kenya registered nursing, the midwifery, the critical care.
Nursing is a noble profession because we work with our clients at different stages of their lives, right from birth up to end of life. When a baby is born, a nurse is present. When a baby is brought to receive vaccines, a nurse is present. When you fall ill, the nurse is by your side. And even at the end of life, a nurse is present. So we are there to give our services throughout each stages of human life.
For more information, call us on 0732 163 164 or 0719 073 164 or visit our website at www.matakenya.com. very warm good morning and welcome to this special edition. Today being the third day of Friday. It is a health talk or health discourse Friday. With me, Sasha Elizabeth. We talk about matters of health and health practices just to inform you and keep you at pace to match up with the most recent happenings in the health purview. So right now, the World Health Organization in the past 2 days has been supporting African countries to strengthen monkeypox surveillance and response actions. This is following a rise or cumulative reports on these cases, and it has been reported that nearly 1,400 monkeypox cases have been reported so far this year, and this count is for the year up until mid-May and is based on preliminary reports. I know most of us are conversant with chicken pox, but this is monkeypox. It might be a very new term to some of us, but we are here with an expert. He's going to take us through this discussion, but first things first, let's introduce him to you. Doctor, it's good to have you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Please tell our viewer about yourself, who you are and what you do at Mater Hospital.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Dr. Isaac Okulu. I'm one of the medical officers who is based in Mater Hospital in the Department of Accident and Emergency, where we normally receive patients who normally come for first time in the hospital. They have emergencies, they have maybe chronic cases and they want to be followed up. So we normally attend to them and then we direct them and give them the best healthcare services that they need.
Thank you very much for creating time for this discussion.
Welcome.
All right, dear viewer, and thank you too for making time for the talk. I believe in exchanging and sharing ideas. So whatever questions you have, or if you have any contribution towards this discussion, feel free to drop your comments on our social media platforms on Facebook and YouTube. Our number is 0717424866. The hashtag to use is Health Discourse, hashtag Capuchin TV, hashtag Sasha Elizabeth. So welcome and let's walk this talk.
Okay.
Usually, doctor, we start with the very basics to try and understand what is this monkeypox? What is it all about?
Monkeypox is one of the illnesses which are caused by the monkeypox viruses. It is among a group of viruses called the orthopox. The orthopox virus contains smallpox and monkeypox. If you remember very well, the smallpox has been eradicated, and the one that emerged immediately of most interest became the monkeypox that we are talking about today. Now, this is a virus that normally is it has majorly two places where we call it the virus clade. We have the Central Africa clade and then the West African clade. The Central Africa clade seems to be more virulent and tends to cause more severe illnesses compared to the Western one. And the first case was recorded in the DRC, that is 1970, as the first incidence that was recorded and was diagnosed in that particular area. But all over the years, it has been the DRC has been recording the highest cases of the monkeypox virus infection over the decades from the time it has been identified.
Up to date?
Up to date, it has still been the major places where this virus is normally recorded, or the incidences are normally picked in this particular area.
So that makes DRC the country with most cases of monkeypox.
Exactly.
What do we attribute this to?
This is because probably how this virus is probably the host of this virus, and then maybe the vector, or we're calling it the carriers of this particular virus. And also probably as we go in with our discussion, we'll get to know more about the modes of transmissions, and possibly this because of where it's normally the host of this virus, and then probably the mode of transmission will tell us more about why is it common in DRC, okay? Because of the where it is found and how it's transmitted. And when you know more about the DRSE, we'll get to know the lifestyle and the kind of people who are found in the DRSE.
All right, let's let's then get on to it. How is monkeypox disease transmitted?
This virus normally is, when we talk of the host, is not especially very known. The host of this, when we talk of the host, is where this virus live with a particular living organisms in a normal situation, probably without causing infection. You realize that some of these infections, they stay in the body, but they stay with the host and they don't cause infection. For instance, when we give a very clear example is Plasmodium parasite. That is like this infection that are caused by the malaria, just simply malaria. Normally it stays with the mosquitoes and doesn't affect the mosquitoes. If you realize mosquitoes are flourishing, they're just carrying them. It's like the host of it, like the vector. So they don't cause any problem. Now, for this virus, the host is not that very clearly understood, but the studies from the research is trying to show that it comes from the monkey, from the rodents. So when you look at how it tends to present in this particular host or the vectors, you realize this in DRSE, for instance, there are high chances of people trying to feed on the we can say this wild animals, you can say like the wild meat. Okay, so the chances are high that they normally have access to eat this kind of meat, and if you eat this meat when it's not properly cooked, okay, you can easily get into contact with this virus. That could be one of the most common ways of acquiring this infection from the host, which is not very clear, but the study is trying to suggest that. And then also we look at the rodent, like some of the rats which stays in this particular area. They're also the major cause of this, or they're also like the host of this. And therefore, when you have contact with this particular host, like animals, you can tend to have the infection. So you can have it through the eating of it. That is, we're saying like animal to human transmission. And then you can also have, like, maybe you have contact with these kind of animals when they like body fluids. Take for instance the blood. You can also get in contact, and then you can also acquire this infection. Basically, that is about animal to human transmission.
But why monkeypox? Why not rodent pox or any other animals? Is it that they are the major hosts of this infection?
Oh, the reason why like sometimes you see naming of particular infections or this kind of transmitted or contagious infection, normally it comes as a result of maybe the first discovery. How was it discovered? So you realize maybe the first discovery was because it was picked from the monkey, and therefore someone who did this research had to give it a name, at least the monkeypox. So I think that's explain why they prefer the name.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kulo, for that clarification. Is this disease contagious or communicable between humans?
Yes, it is communicable and contagious between human, and basically how you can easily acquire it from one person to another is through having contact with the infected person. And what particular contact do you need to have? If you have a contact with this person who is having maybe body fluid of this particular person, you can easily contract the disease. For instance, if in a family member, one person is having this disease, and then you're taking care of this person, and you interact, you're sharing utensils and other things, and then you're not or keen about hand hygiene and trying to make sure you prevent obvious contact with this person, you tend to have this particular infection. You can easily contract this infection.
So which specifically, because we have different fluid secretions from human body, could you please specify which ones specifically?
Normally we can talk of blood, we can still talk of saliva, but the most contagious one is if this particular person is having this infection, and then this infection manifests with a lot of skin rashes on the body, and these skin rashes sometimes can be having like fluids like that are breaking to crash, and then you find this fluid on that particular rash. So now when you get in contact with that fluid, it normally gives you high chances of contracting the disease. Yes.
Thank you very much. Now, all right, now it is easier for one to self-diagnose chickenpox or maybe smallpox. Is it the same with monkeypox? How can one tell that they are infected with monkeypox?
To be 100% sure that you have monkeypox infection, I think from the health care perspective, the professional will be able to completely say that you have the monkeypox infection. But also, as a common person, you can easily tell that you can suspect, but you may not completely come up with a clear diagnosis that it's the one, unless maybe you have confirmed by maybe the diagnosis or some laboratory test. But normally what happens is when you get to know the signs and symptoms of this disease, and I think that is one of the most important things that we need to clarify about it. How does it present, and how can you know that you're really having this infection? Most likely it starts by you need to know that when you contract a disease, it will take some time for the symptoms to present. Okay, and these symptoms we normally call them the incubation period. Okay, so in the incubation period, it normally varies. Sometimes it ranges most likely from 6 to 13 days, but sometimes it can go beyond that, whereby you realize it can be from 5 to even up to 21 days. So within this period, the first thing that normally happens is you're going to have fevers that will come. You'll have to have general body pain. You're going to have fatigue. You have to have joint pain, which is almost classical of all presentation of most viral infection. And then later on, you tend to have development of the skin rashes. And the rashes are very classical for the monkeypox. Normally start with the face, okay? After getting the face, then spread throughout the body, and then sometimes spreads now, most cases, to make it more unique, it comes to the palm and to the sole of the feet. Now these rashes sometimes resembles the rashes of the smallpox, resembles the rashes of the measles also resembles the rashes of the chickenpox, okay? But then how it comes and how it is spread, it is more suggestive of the monkeypox. So the first place which is mostly affected is the face. Then from the face, it spreads through the body, and it will go to the sole, and it will also end up to the feet, which is not very characteristic for measles, for smallpox, or for chickenpox.
All right, so that is the sign or the symptom that cuts monkeypox from the rest of the viral infections. All right, okay. Thank you very much. Now, can it sometimes be asymptomatic in the sense that you don't present any signs or symptoms, but you are actually infected?
Normally what happens, it tends to be very calm. It tends to be very friendly infection. That means we are saying the severity is not that very bad. Majority of the patients tend to recover even without treatment. They get the rashes on the body and then it just clears like that. But to say it's asymptomatic, it is normally you have some few symptoms like fevers and general body pain, which is not very severe. So therefore you may even ignore and you may not treat it and it just disappear like that. But most cases, it tends to be more severe in children and then more severe in people whom we say the immunocompromised. The immunocompromised people are these particular individuals who maybe are on chemotherapy or maybe are having, take for instance, HIV/AIDS, so the immunity is a little bit suppressed. Others have been taking a lot of steroids, so these particular people tend to have the severity of the disease that may necessitate aggressive treatment and management so that they can really survive. Okay.
Speaking of children, the infection being more serious among children, could you please tell us about which populations or groups are at more risk of contracting this disease?
I think almost everyone is at risk of contracting the disease, but then now the severity of when you contract it, how does it become, how does it present in you? Or how does your body counteract this? Because if you know very well, most of the viral infection do not have the treatment. And therefore, what normally happens is, whenever you get the viral infection, it's your body really to fight very hard to suppress this disease. And therefore, when you look at children, sometimes the immunity is not that very well developed. So I think that's why they tend to have more severity of the infection than other population. And as I said before, we also have immunocompromised people who their immunity is not that very strong, and therefore when they get the infection, the severity becomes slightly higher than the normal people. So that means almost everyone is at risk of getting it, but then the severity now is the one that tells us how particular group is more affected or not affected. Okay.
So everyone can get it.
Everyone
You can get it.
You can get it.
I can get it.
And you can get
Absolutely.
it. Exactly.
All right. Now, someone who is asking, can monkeypox be considered as an STI?
No.
No.
It cannot. But now you see, we are talking of sexually transmitted, and in this case, you have an infection and it's active, and you're having an affair with someone, definitely there's contact. So the contact you're going to have is not because of the sexual intercourse, but because you have had contact with this particular person. And if this person is having a skin lesions, like we are calling the skin rashes, definitely you cannot stay someone in that kind of act, and then you fail to touch the body which is having this active infection. So therefore you will contract it like any other normal person who is staying with that person, not necessarily because of the act of the intercourse. See.
All right.
Yes,
Bless you, Kennedy from Eldoret. I think you got an answer to your question. Now, once someone presents with these signs and symptoms and they come to a health center or facility, what kind of tests do you take them through to establish if it's monkeypox or any other viral infection?
Normally what happens, it can only be that two tests that has been, the study has been done on and is more specific and can really give you reliable results about the monkeypox. And one of them is what is called the antibody antigen test that has been developed already, whereby you pick the sample of someone and then you run the test. That is a rapid test, so it can give you a clue that this particular person is having the monkeypox. But the most definitive one that will never give you any doubt is the PCR, like the one we've been doing for COVID-19. We call it COVID-19 PCR. So this also, we have the monkeypox PCR test that normally it runs the DNA of or the RNA of this virus. So it will give a very confirmative diagnosis. But also sometimes doing the PCR, or you are in a setting where you cannot have opportunity to have this antibody antigen test. Clinically, you can also suspect, and once you suspect that it is a monkeypox, and therefore you need to be cautious and start doing preventive measures and control measures to make sure you don't make sure you don't propel the spread of this particular infection. And then there are other tests that also can be done, the routine one, to make sure you check your patient. Just a normal test too, like running a blood test, seeing the level of infections. These are the normal ones that we, the health workers, normally capitalize on. Hospital. Yes, yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, my director says it's time to take a breath. Dear viewer, it's quite an intriguing conversation right here on monkeypox, but we are taking a short break, but we'll be right back with more on this discussion, this topic on monkeypox. So stay tuned.
Capuchin TV, your Catholic broadcasting ministry.
Welcome to Misericordiae Hospital, Nairobi CBD Medical Center.
Development House Medical Center was opened about slightly above 10 years ago, and since then we've been providing ambulatory care to clients who come to us. The clinic is located between Tom Mboya Street and Moi Avenue, right opposite the Pioneer Building.
We guarantee our patients quality standards and variety of medical services.
At Development House Town Clinic, we have the following services. We offer doctor's consultation. We also offer physician services on Mondays and Fridays, obstetric and gynecologist services on Wednesdays and Saturdays, nutritional services on Fridays. We also have a well-equipped pharmacy, a well-equipped laboratory. We have physiotherapists, and we also have just begun our wellness services as a way of encouraging preventive medicine.
We provide specialized services, that is gynecology and antenatal clinics. We provide services to the diabetics and the hypertensive patients. We give nursing services. We will do your dressing, we give you injections, we also provide some counseling services. We have specialized counselors that would give you natural family planning counseling and guidance, and you'd also get the general counseling. We also provide adult immunization, and basically for adults who want to travel, we are able to give you the vaccines that you need.
We uphold the dignity and privacy of our patients as we strive to meet your healthcare needs holistically and in a more compassionate way.
The service that you'd receive at our medical center is a value with a touch of Christ. We do not just want you to be taken care of physically, but you also think about your spiritual care and spiritual growth.
Visit us every Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. and get value for your money.
We ensure that you're seen within the shortest time possible, however, providing quality care.
I welcome you all to Mater Hospital CBD. We assure you of timely, efficient, and satisfactory services.
Capuchin TV, your Catholic identity.
Alright, welcome back, dear viewer. We are glad you're still keeping us company here on Capuchin TV, as it is the tradition. Every Friday is a Health Friday Discourse Day, so we discuss more about health. And this is the second part of today's episode on monkeypox. And with me in studio is none other than Dr. Okulo Isaac from Mater Misericordiae Hospital. Now, we just heard about the prevalence rate of this infection, the viral infection that recently there has been articles and reports in different parts of Africa, especially from Cameroon, Central African Republic, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, Liberia, Nigeria, and other countries that has really raised an alarm and prompted the World Health Organization to step in and help them to come up with the surveillance and response actions. And before we proceed with the questions trying to understand more about this infection, Allow me to loud Emoit Matthew, he's following, Sarah Njuguna, and Ronix Emstone. Thank you very much for following. Just feel free to drop your questions or contribution towards this discussion. As usual, we value your feedback, and we are here, right here, to share with you what we know more about this. So welcome back, Dr. Okulo.
Thank you so much.
All right, now, first of all, could you please share with us your experience as a medic who deals with the emergency sector or the emergency unit? Could you comment on the cases, especially in cities and towns, because based on the hosts, which you mentioned before, that they are monkeys or rodents, in the cities, most cities, we don't get to see or eat meat from the wild animals.
Okay, thank you so much. I think normally, according to the research, cases have been reported in major cities and even in the Western world, in some individuals who probably travel from this endemic area or from the places where these cases are normally reported, and it is believed that these people probably contacted this disease from those who got it from the host, or these people who are really sickly and they were mingling with this kind of people in that particular area. So whenever they travel from one place to another, of course, since the incubation period can take some few days, 1 to 3 or even 1 to 5 days for it to present. So they ended up presenting these cases in these cities, and that is how these cases were detected. But if you follow critically, they had history of travel. Yes.
Is there a risk of this virus breaking out to be a global pandemic or so, to speak?
There could be a risk of that, but then to add on that, it's not that very virulent infection, like it's not too contagious, or else if it comes, sometimes it is self-limiting. But you see, like if you get a disease that spreads so fast, for instance, coronavirus and like Ebola, these are the diseases that tend to spread so fast. And also, the reason why it may not have to be very contagious because of its fast appearance, okay? You look at someone who is presenting with very rough face presentation, a lot of rash on the body. Because of this fast insight of it, it tends to make people tend to prevent, even by instinct, you tend to prevent yourself from it. But if you look at the condition like coronavirus, you can't tell, like someone is having it. Absolutely. They're walking and then you cannot tell so easily, unless someone sneezes or cough, and by the time someone coughs and sneezes, you're really having it, you see that? So it makes it not very, that's why it has not been very virulent, it has not been very contagious, and to the extent of spreading all over the world. And if it comes, it is easily controlled, because sometimes it can even just go by itself without needing aggressive management.
D'accord. Now, so it does not actually spread so rapidly like other infections?
Definitely. It's just like chicken pox and smallpox, the way they have been spread, but not, the spread is not too contagious. But if you look at also what the WHO publish about the DRC, they tend to report over 1,000 cases every year. But that does not mean, and then the death rate is around, I think, around 11%. So that means if you get around 100 cases, maybe around 10 to 11 people may succumb to that. And those who normally succumb are due to the factors that we have discussed before, like maybe young age, like children, or immunocompromised. But because of that, it has not been so virulent compared to other viral infections that we have known for the last 2 years, which has disturbed the world so much. Okay.
They say once bitten, twice shy, so everyone needs to take the precaution to ensure that we are not plunged back into the same situation that COVID-19 thrust us into. All right, now every disease or infection or medical condition has got some treatment modalities. Though you mentioned that during our first session that it could just go away if your immunity can just fight the infection and just you don't need to seek medication. But for the cases of the cases that you just mentioned, what treatment modalities are available for patients with monkeypox?
Normally, as a viral infection, it doesn't have that very definitive treatment, but we give them supportive treatment, looking at a patient who has come and is really presenting with this condition, and you have checked other, we say, vitals, the parameters, you check the status of the patient. Those who are really stable, sometimes you just do a lot of observation, you do a lot of preventive control measures, like maybe isolating them from relatives, from other community, so that you minimize the spread of this infection. But then now in severe cases, you give them supportive therapy. For instance, if you have so many lesions like rashes on your body, it can predispose you to having another infection. So you can get super infection with the bacterial infection here. Now when you get a bacterial infection, therefore you need to be given antibiotic, but based on the laboratory investigations, that has to be done. So you give this kind of supportive treatment to make sure you stabilize your patient. And also, the WHO has also recommended that you can also give some antiviral drugs that have shown good outcome on it, like for instance, like Vistin. These are all like one is called the T-pox that has been used in the eradication of this illness, eradication of the smallpox. Okay. Now, you can use that antiviral medication and has shown good outcome in those who have severe infection. Just like what we had in COVID-19. We didn't have definitive treatment, but there's some antiviral medication that later on came into market and they were showing good outcome.
Do you treat symptoms in this case?
In this case, we treat the symptoms and we treat the severity of the infection, and also we treat the patient as a patient. We don't treat them. We don't treat them as monkeypox infection. We treat as a patient. So when you come, we look at you. You have monkeypox infection, but what is your presentation? How are you clinically? Are you stable or not? Do you have another infection on top of this? If you have other comorbidities also, it needs to be taken care of, because they could be the cause of you having the severity of the infection. So all
if
this
you have an underlying
condition, diseases, difficult.
And how long does it take tentatively for someone to be cleared to receive a clean bill of health if they have contracted monkeypox disease?
It normally takes 4 to 6 weeks someone will be cleared of the disease. Even the self-limiting one, within 4 to 6 weeks someone is okay. It has no any other illness now. But now when you're admitted, of course, in the hospital and you're having severity, then you'll get stabilized, you'll get treated. If you're good to go, we check on the time maybe you got contacted, the first time you had a contact with someone, then we look at that grace period and we say you're free of the disease. And also maybe after aggressive treatment, we repeat the test like a PCR and the standard to be negative, then you're good to go home. Can be, so we can give a specific date. It varies according to particular individuals and a particular underlying condition, and also the immunity of someone will definitely detect. Yes.
All right, medics or scientists always they make effort to develop vaccines for infections. Do we have, can people be vaccinated against monkeypox disease?
That is what has been going on. The study is going on about that. They're doing a lot of research to find out the vaccine, but also the study has shown that those who have had, those who have been vaccinated against like chicken pox and then the smallpox, they tend to have resistance to this disease. So when you get the disease, actually the severity is reduced. So the study shows that this vaccination for this other infection, like smallpox and chicken pox, has some percentage to cover you from getting this infection. In that, if you get it, the severity it's really reduced.
It's not so
It's
lethal.
not so lethal as we can think.
All
of.
right.
Yes,
Now
yes.
we prefer, or we always prefer to prevent before we get, instead of treating, all right, or cure. What are some of the preventive and control measures of the spread of monkeypox virus?
Okay, I think the best approach for this could be we start from the family level, come to the community level, then you come to the hospital level, and at the large, the government or the policymakers level now. So all these four departments has to play a major role. So we are starting with the family level, where we have people maybe who are tempted to eat this wild meat. So if you are tempted to do so, then you have to cook this food thoroughly to make sure you kill all the virus in this particular food that you're going to eat. That is number one. So from that family level, we are looking at that. Then also now at the family level, we are looking at if you suspect a case, you have your children, or you have your spouse, or you have your sister or your brothers, they have traveled maybe from places and they've come and they're presenting with a funny rash on the body. Don't sit down and think maybe it is just KVs or something like that. Make sure you visit the hospital if you're not sure about it, so that we really come up with a clear diagnosis. If we happen to pick it from that level, then you are now advised as the family members to minimize the contact. If you even managing the patient from home, we tend to give you need to, like, we have practiced very good hand hygiene. You need to make sure you wash your hands after maybe attending to this particular patient, who is your relative, but still now you need to make sure you minimize the contact between you and then this particular person now, who is now the patient. That on at the family level. So when you leave the family level and go to the community level now. So once this case maybe has been reported, then I think the community has to be aware. We need to educate the community. The community should know that if you have someone presenting like these fevers and having fevers, having body rashes, if at their family level they're not able to pick it, then as a good person in the community, try to sensitize them, tell them, hey, we have heard about this and this. I think, why can't you go and seek the medical attention so that this particular person can be picked and diagnosed and maybe isolated and prevent the spread of this particular infection in a particular community. So that is at the community level. Now when you move at the hospital, we practice what is called like hand hygiene. We need to make sure we have very good hygiene, because if you have good hand washing, and one thing that I learned during coronavirus is people became too organized, people became well informed about issues concerning hand hygiene, and actually hygiene in general become smart. And you realize in the hospital you need to practice very good hand hygiene. You need to wash your hands, you need to wear gloves where necessary, and also we need to have isolation units in every health sector that is giving the health services to the community. In that, in case you suspect a case, you put this particular patient in isolated unit. So that's because of that, you're also minimizing the spread from health workers to health workers, and you're minimizing the spread also from one patient to another patient in a particular institution, or from one patient to the relatives. Then now at the policy level, that is the government level prevention now, we need to strengthen the public health sectors. We need to supply different institutions with the equipped methods of quick diagnosis, quick isolation, and then the good ways, good practice of these communicable diseases, so that we can prevent them. I think basically that's what I can talk about. Though there are a lot of things.
That's quite in-depth. Thank you very much for that. So wherever you are, whatever level you are in, it starts from the very basic unit, that is the family, all the way to the community, through your workplace, up to the highest level in the community, that is already in society generally. So our time is up, but what is your parting shot in as far as monkeypox disease is concerned? Kindly talk to our viewer about that as we close, we wrap up the discussion.
Basically, thanks so much for listening to us and watching us as we take you through this we call it a newly emerging disease, according to the description of the WHO. It is something that is not very common in other parts of the world, but then it's something that can be of major interest. And as I can conclude by saying, let's all be vigilant, let's all be the watch of our community, the watch of our family, the watch of our nation. Let's be proactive about our health, and let's take health as one of the most important thing in this world. If you are not healthy, or we looked at what happened during pandemic in COVID-19, everyone got affected, whether you're health workers, whether you're not a health workers. So we need to really be very cautious. We have to be careful. We need to love ourselves, and we need to stay healthy.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Welcome,
Isaac
welcome,
Okulo,
welcome.
for this conversation.
Thank
We
you.
really appreciate that. All right, dear viewer, a fit body, a calm mind, a house full of love. These things are not bought. They cannot be bought. Rather, they are earned. And here on Capuchin TV, in partnership with Misericordiae Hospital, we make it easier for you to earn these things by bringing you this kind of discussions. Every Friday, remember to tune in. It is wicked. It might be quite tempting for you to grab or munch a bite, but just be cautious enough and make sure that it's not a monkey meat bite or meat from rodents. It is good always to take precautions. So thank you very much. Up to this point, we'd like to close the discussion, but as usual, I'd like first of all to thank the people who have been coordinating to make sure that this discussion happens in the best way possible. That starts with Sister Mueni Benedict from Mater Hospital, Dr. Daniel Odongo, who is always organizing this virtually, and on our end we have Father Vincent Shumira and Sister Carrara Teresia. Thank you very much. And I would also like to laud the efforts of I would like to commend the efforts of Anthony Simi, who has been the camera operator, assisted by Kennedy Okony, and I would also like to thank the sound mixer, Eric Otieno. Thank you very much for your dexterity in sound mixing. Thank you very much, Michael Ndegwa, for handling the visual mixing appropriately. So we also have on our transmission desk, Michael Kibandi, and I'd like to wish you a great weekend. Remember to stay safe and healthy, cognitively, physically. So my name is Sasha Elizabeth. See you next time. Goodbye.
Okay, they're good. Eh?
Capuchin TV, your Catholic broadcasting ministry.
It is a special event that brought together Mater Hospital Cardiac Program trustees, stakeholders, benefactors and beneficiaries to officially flag off the Mater Heart Run campaign 2022.
The Mater Heart Run 2022 has been officially launched.
Today I'm excited because we have launched the Mater Heart Run 2022. And for us, this is a great win because in the 2020 and 2021, we did not have the Mater Heart Run. And what it means is that if we don't have the Mater Heart Run, we do not have a platform where we invite well-wishers, our partners and our supporters to come together to raise funds, which is put into the Mater Heart Fund.
We are grateful for the continued partnership and support that you have accorded us and ensuring that the needy children with cardiac diseases get new lease of life.
The Heart Run, a Mater Hospital trademark that has been running for the past 25 years, is an annual campaign that raises funds to support needy children with cardiac defects and are otherwise unable to fund the costly medical procedures.
That is what Mater Heart Run is about. It's about touching the lives of children who have no way of ever coming back and saying thank you to us because of what we have done. But for us who have the ability to touch their lives, it gives us that one chance to do that.
Remember, cardiac surgery is very expensive because of the expensive consumables that are used, the specialized doctors that need to take care of the patients and even perform the procedures, even taking care of them in ICU.
Program trustees took the opportunity to outline this year's target and budgets ahead of the actual campaign in June 2022 as they called for support from people of goodwill.
This year, our target is 200 children from both open heart surgery and cardiac catheterization. These procedures will be achieved through your generous support. Already we have about 250 children on the waiting list, and this list continues to grow every day.
We can give our children a new lease of life by repairing the broken hearts. Broken in as those that have holes in their hearts, those that have valves that are damaged and need replacement, those that have vessels that are constricted and they are not taking blood where it's supposed to be taken.
The cardiac program targets children from economically disadvantaged families in line with the values of Sisters of Mercy, which seek to uplift the dignity of the underprivileged in society in the most compassionate way.
The interventions are focused on those who are not able to have financial capacity to deal with their ailments, and that cause of the charism of the Sisters of Mercy, that's a focus.
The campaign has so far benefited over 4,000 cardiac surgery and catheterization beneficiaries through generous donations from local and international donors, coupled with a team of dedicated medical specialists.
A time came when all our resources were depleted, yet we still had a number of cases. It is a leadership that believed that there will be a better tomorrow, and we have not turned a single critical case back.
Andres alikuwa ameturn, the tongue ilikuwa imeturn into purple, makucha zina grow zikiingia ndani. He was pale, angetembea from here to there, ana squat, anainama hawezi fanya anything. He started fainting. Andres alikuwa anaweza akalaikuwa nao the next hour amefaint. Tulianza kutembea na oxygen, but venye tulifika Mata, for real, tulikuwa tume lose hope. Friends walituacha, but Mata ilitupokea, ikatukumbatia, wakatusaidia na surgery. Sahi Andres anaendelea vizuri.
My name is Andres Matano. I am 7 years old. Once I had a heart surgery and I had a problem. And my parents took me to Mata Hospital. They treated me well and I'm doing well. Thank you.
22-year-old Milka Atieno, one of the Mater Heart Run beneficiaries, had been on and off hospital, grappling with incessant health symptoms. Little did she know that she had multiple cardiac perforations.
I had several holes. Wakaniambia nitahave kwanza clinic. Ile ilifika 2019 March, nika lose hope. Nikasema no clinics anymore. So vile nili lose hope, kapata Mata, wakanishikilia. Relatives walienda silent. My mom na my dad, my siblings ndio walini support.
Many other children who had lost hope of living due to heart diseases have found recourse in the Mata Heart Run program.
My name is Misericordiae, and I'm 11 years old. I'm going in grade 6, and I thank Mata Hospital for making me feel better. And now I am a grown girl, and I thank Mata Hospital so much. I thank you to Mata Hospital. I'm graded for 2, and I thank God for everything.
Hii foundation yao imetuhelp sana. Back then sikuwa najua kuna kwanga na foundation kama hii inaweza saidia weak heart, hopeless heart. Ningependa kufanya what my friends were doing, what my classmates were doing, but ilikuwanga challenging. Ilini affect sana kwa sababu when people are moving to another class, me I'm still in the hospital. Most of the times nilikuwa na pass out, more faints, more weakness. But vile nilikuwa treated, nikaavu kuendelea na studies zangu.
These are beneficiaries as way back as 2018, 2019 and 2021. These are children who were not able to go to school regularly. They were not able to play with their colleagues, but because of the program, now some of them have gone back to school and they are able to relate well.
Kurudisha shukrani kwa vile Mata walisimama na sisi wakati tulikuwa tumekosa njia kabisa, na wakati tulienda walitusaidia kabisa. Mungu awabariki sana.
The Mata Heart Run campaign is on in full swing, and what stands out the most is the need to improve cardiac disease treatment and management, not just in children but also in adults.
We still hope that we should be able with time and with continuous practice, and we'll be doing most of the cases, that we will be able to come down and do most of the cases. And I'm trusting that that cardiac center, Mata, will be the first one to get it, to prop it.
Over the years, the program has opened its doors to other clients through self-sponsorship and insurance covers, and among these, the NHIF, which have played a very key role.
The day will also be marked in 11 different counties across the country.
If you're in Nairobi, the run will be Nairobi. If you're in Nyeri, there will be a run. If you're in Nakuru, there will be a run. If you're in Mombasa, there will be a run. If you're in Kericho, there will be a run. If you're in Bomet, there will be a run. If you're in Kisumu, there will be a run, and there will be a run in Kakamega and Eldoret. Kindly come and let us all support these children.
I'm aware of the post-COVID-19 economic challenges, but I hope your big hearts will go beyond these challenges to touch the little hearts of our children, who are going to be our future leaders.
For individuals, you get onto the Mata website. We have the Mata Heart Run paybill number, it's there. As a corporate, you can also talk to us. And when the t-shirts come out, buy t-shirts. Even if you're not able to give money, you can buy t-shirts for your groups at your place of work. Do it as a CSR and join us for the run.
One, you touch a child's heart. You touch the society. That's the core. That's where we began.
Touch a child's heart.
It is an annual iconic cardiac program popularly known as the Mata Heart Run, which had stalled for the past 2 years owing to the adverse effects posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. And as all well-wishers, stakeholders and sponsors gather here today to launch this program, the Mata Heart Run 2022, there is a call to every person who is able to step up and touch a child's heart in a special way as we await for the actual Mata Heart Run on the 11th of June. Asasha Elizabeth, Capuchin TV at the KICC, Nairobi.